let's watch this mock
Over
draft.
a week ago, we finally found out the 2021 NBA draft order, and as a result, we kind of have an idea of what some teams will be trying to do in order to improve their respective teams in this year's NBA draft. Now, I said this in previous videos before, and hopefully I will be coming out with a video giving you a brief overview of every top prospect. So let me know in the comment section down below which top prospect you want us to do an overview of first. But until then, I figured it would be a lot of fun to attempt to familiarize yourselves with a lot of the top prospects in this year's NBA draft. So we're going to be doing a NBA lottery mock draft. Now, just to subscribe, and you have my 40,000 draft. The Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham, a point guard / small forward out of.
So you're gonna sit back, watch it, laugh at these over? Yeah, bro, they finna overreact like crazy to that game, bro.
I love my.
They finna overreact like you don't know. I mean, this is how I feel about First Take. They just gonna do this stuff just to get clicks and views and stuff like that. They say all this crazy stuff and all these overreactions.
I'm gonna be honest, I was sleeping on this year's draft class until I finally did my first bit of research.
Cade Cunningham going number 1 for sure.
And what I discovered was something that completely blew me away. You see, Cade Cunningham is very similar to other top prospects that we've seen come out of the NBA draft over the past decade, but imagine a prospect that takes a multitude of positive traits that you see from 2 or 3 other prospects and combines it into one. I'll give you an example. The one player that I think of the most when I see Cade Cunningham is Ben Simmons. And in terms of defensive potential and defensive versatility, assuming he could develop that skill, he has what Ben Simmons has.
He said Stephen A. hairline going over.
Although he didn't really show this at Oklahoma State, he has a
been overreacting for years.
Waiting for his teammates. But here's where he distances himself from Ben Simmons and begins to play like Jason Tatum. Cade Cunningham is a phenomenal shot creator.
Ben Simmons
had Jason Tatum's ability to create shots for himself, and then you get Cade Cunningham.
I mean, I see the defense.
Absolutely terrifying.
But the overall game.
Compare Cade Cunningham to Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
I try to refrain from comparing a player to another player directly. Rather, I like comparing specific traits of his game to other players. But if you're the Detroit Pistons,
Ben Simmons, I mean, other than the defense, nothing. No
talent in this year's NBA draft, and you can't risk taking another player instead of him. Who else would they take instead of Cade Cunningham after all? Evan Mobley, despite them having Jeremy Grant really showing out. Jalen Suggs, well, you drafted Killian Hayes last year. Jalen Green does make a nice argument, but I feel like Cade Cunningham is miles and miles ahead of where Jalen Green is as a player. Which brings us to our miles and miles in this year's NBA draft. With the second pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Houston Rockets select Jalen Green, a shooting guard out of the G League.
I honestly would rather the Rockets get Jalen Green, like I said earlier.
Green is officially going to be announced. Is he going to be announced from his hometown? Where are they going to say he's from? From the G League? That's what I'm curious about. But you see, the second pick is where things get really interesting, because you can make a legitimate argument for Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, and Evan Mobley. Most people think the consensus second best player in this year's NBA draft is Evan Mobley, a 7-foot power forward out of USC. But the problem here is Evan Mobley compares to Christian Wood almost too well. It's like you're drafting the same player, and you might as well try.
I was thinking that earlier too when we was watching his scouting report. I was thinking Christian Wood,
a big man that already plays like an existing big on your team. I feel like if they draft,
I'd rather the Rockets to get
Christian Wood would definitely
Jalen Green. Like I said, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter would be nice.
A scorer like Jalen Green.
Plus, Kevin Porter is more of a playmaker anyway, so Jalen Green can just do his scoring if he wants to.
Porter Jr. But I'd like to think that Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green could make a very young and exciting backcourt duo if they really work out the kinks. This past year, we saw glimpses of Kevin Porter Jr. being a bit of a jack of all trades, and I think with that playmaking ability and Jalen Green scoring, they have a very exciting backcourt for the Houston Rockets. Just a
Cade over Ben Simmons
moved on from the backcourt of Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Green definitely has the potential to be the best
say,
scorer
yeah,
in this
I
entire
got you. I
NBA
remember
draft. But where he's going to
I would
go
build around
might
Cade
be a
over
bit of a
Simmons.
mystery, because from the second pick and on, it's really
Simmons is just getting so much trash because he won't shoot the ball, bro. He won't even take a layup
select
anymore.
Evan Mobley, a power forward / center out of USC.
Cavs take Mobley. We was just talking about this. I don't know about that one.
Cavaliers really
Why?
want to move away from Kevin Love, and they even went on record.
Unless they're gonna put Mobley at power forward.
Evan Mobley were to fall to them, they would easily trade Jarrett Allen. And this is kind of comical because the Cleveland Cavaliers were ridiculed for being this team that had way too many centers and power forwards over this past year. From
Larry Nance
Jr. to Kevin Love to at one point
trade
Drummond, then eventually trade for
Jarrett
Allen. It's fairly comical to see that they're so willing to go ahead and draft their big men of the future at this point. I'm going to be honest, I do like Evan Mobley, but I do have some reservations as to how he will develop, and typically I'm a little terrified of selecting young big men out of the NBA draft like Evan Mobley, because there isn't enough tape on him for me to know what type of player he's going to be. He shot 69% from free throw, so he is a decent free throw shooter, and it probably means
this
that
dude
he
just don't like Mobley because Mobley's a beast,
at a
bro.
somewhat consistent rate. But would he be able to extend his range beyond the 3-point line? Well, he wasn't able to really do that in college, but at the same time, we didn't really get a large sample size from him in college. He only played in 33 games. The thing is, the potential is there. If he could add on to his frame, at the very worst, you have a player that could hit mid-range jumpers and is an absolute terror to go up against on the interior defense. With a 7'4" wingspan.
Right.
He has tremendous two-way.
Mobley is not a bad pick at all because at the end of the day, you're gonna get an elite defender.
When he was asked to switch on to smaller
and
players,
I mean, you can get a lob.
He has the ability to
elite defender and a lob
and has a smooth looking
at the end of the
jumper,
day, so it's not. You don't really lose anything drafting Mobley. To be honest with you, even at his lowest, he's still gonna be a player that you can put in the game.
Shoot 3-pointers. The red flags about Evan Mobley is how badly does he want to be great? How great is his motor? Sometimes his body language indicates that he doesn't really want to be out on the floor, but whenever
never pay attention to the whole body language thing,
he looks like Anthony Davis version 2.0 out there. It'll be up to the Cleveland Cavaliers to try to develop him to his
Mobley gonna be insane once he adds more. Yeah, I mean, they gotta have more muscle mass, and then like I was saying with the whole
in the 2021 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Jalen Suggs out of Gonzaga University. Now,
with the whole
was the hero of the NCAA tournament, although he wasn't able to finish the job in the NCAA championship. He had some tremendous moments where he showed that he could be the leader of a team. And if you're the Toronto Raptors, you're at that point where one of your franchise might not return next year.
You're a Raptors fan, right? Jalen Suggs
to feature a proverbial passing of the torch to a brand new, younger point guard that not only has
who got injured in college, Mobley,
to score the basketball, that isn't only a player that truly could hit 3-pointers and that has a silky smooth jump shot, but also a player that showed an ability to create for other teammates and that has a tremendous basketball IQ. He's also 6'4".
There's some good defenders coming in and at that rookie spot,
and has remarkable shot selection.
That boy getting up there
to the modern NBA.
Mobley got hurt.
Potential of Jalen Suggs running with Pascal Siakam and the type of offensive sets.
Reed's saying
be able to feature with both of these two, considering how versatile Pascal Siakam is and how remarkable Jalen Suggs is in terms of creating high IQ basketball.
I didn't know Cleveland had said all that about
the 2021 NBA draft
about Mobley, so this is that you probably ain't gonna get Mobley.
A forward out
Kuminga, this is who you was just talking about, Jay.
I don't know why, and we were talking about this on the Laced Up podcast. Mike Korzemba and I agree on this. For some reason, we all can't help but feel like Jonathan Kuminga is going to develop into an NBA star, like very similarly to the way Pascal Siakam did.
You feel that same way, Jay?
That's the NBA comparison.
He's a point guard, maybe
the reason for this
Kyle Lowry.
He's an athletic wing.
Well, y'all gonna need. I'm pretty sure Kyle Lowry's not gonna stay with the Raptors.
6'11" wingspan and 215 pounds. He has an ability to score.
There's some great defenders in this draft.
During his time with the G League Ignite, he really
didn't show Mobley,
any competence.
But I didn't know Cavs was saying that about Mobley.
Because of the small sample size of Jonathan Kuminga with the G League Ignite, maybe his jump shot is better than he showed.
Oh, he's Ignite. Oh, I forgot you said he's with G League too.
But he only converted on 25% of them. But the thing that's scary about this
he's a defender too.
Measure a player's ability to eventually.
Damn, all the rookies coming in with some defense.
Jumper based off of their free throw percentage. And in this situation, Kuminga only has a 63% free throw percentage. So he has a tremendously high ceiling, but the thing that I'm worried about is his floor. If he can't get a jump shot to fall consistently in the NBA, you're looking at a player that could potentially just be a role player. And here's what's funny. The 6th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to take Scottie Barnes. And the funny thing about this is Scottie Barnes is a very similar type of player to Jonathan Kuminga in the sense that he is very versatile. He could run the floor the way Kuminga does.
Defense wins games, yeah, for sure. And a lot of times rookies don't get in the game because they can't play defense.
Possesses a paltry jump shot.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to play defense.
He didn't even
not on winning teams, that is.
His free throw percentage was also very
similar.
Get in that game
because you can't play no defense. You're not gonna get a lot of time.
Is the fact that he is a very versatile forward. He is a remarkable playmaker that has a tremendous motor, and at the very worst, he'll provide defensive versatility for the Oklahoma City Thunder. With the 7th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select James Bouknight out of UConn.
You think Warriors gonna keep that pick? Number 7? They might.
Up draft boards as the offseason.
Matter of fact, if I'm Warriors, I'll mess around and keep that pick. To be honest with you, go ahead and start getting me some more stockpiling this young talent. Then you could honestly trade it away for a big star if you wanted to.
For him, he goes to a team
Jonathan's got it better with his three-point shot.
He showed that he is a competent shooter from 3 in his
this is the first non-rookie. Non-1 year out of a high school player.
Makes his living by slashing to the rim and is a phenomenal scorer, which is something that the Golden State Warriors could really use once Steph Curry goes to the bench. He's a tremendous playmaker that also has a phenomenal ball handling ability. So imagine bringing this man off the bench and having him score off of a few isolation plays.
I don't like that. You lost me.
Pick in the 2021
you picking a person in the top 10 to
Magic
come off the bench.
Franz Wagner out of Michigan.
This dude, Keon Johnson, is a 40-inch vert.
Players you could get in this entire draft. He's extremely versatile as well. He showed
another sophomore right here
to create plays for his teammates and excels really with off-ball defense and just general basketball IQ. He's a tremendous spot-up three-point shooter that can easily drain shots off of 1 or 2.
As a Raptors fan, I would draft Mobley, Siakam, and Mobley Sheesh. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
Just a little bit of
Siakam and Mobley is a nice backcourt. I mean, a nice front court.
Player Mo Wagner. With the 9th pick in the 2021 NBA draft,
that's Wagner's brother.
Sacramento Kings select Keon Johnson.
This is who he was just talking about.
Now, Keon Johnson is going to be the complement to De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, which they clearly hit on in years prior, but also has the versatility to be a good pick and roll scorer if need be. He does have to add some muscle to his frame to really succeed at driving in the NBA, and his jump shot mechanics definitely could use some work. With the 10th pick in the 2021 draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Davion Mitchell, a guard out of Baylor. So in this case, we're assuming that the Pelicans
getting up there. Hold on.
Lonzo Ball, and they need to replace him with another spot-up shooter that does have decent.
Y'all think Lonzo leaving Pelicans? Is he going to the Bulls? I know I keep hearing Bulls.
Playing in the Stan Van Gundy offense because Lonzo Ball wasn't really doing as much playmaking in Stan Van Gundy's offense. He was more of a spot-up shooter. And this past year, Davion Mitchell definitely took a leap as a spot-up shooter. He only shot 31% from 3 over his first 2 seasons and shot 45% as a junior. He's shown tremendous energy on the defensive end, and I think would be a perfect complement to Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram in any lineup. With the 11th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, I have the Charlotte Hornets selecting Moses Moody, a wing out of Arkansas. This is just a role player.
I heard his name before.
They do have Gordon Hayward starting at the forward position, and in Moses Moody, you have a player that is a potential 3-and-D type of player, but he could be greater. We don't really know how good Moses Moody can be because he's a very young player, but he did show off an ability to score from the perimeter and play excellent defense. He isn't necessarily a player that could create his own shots, but in terms of playing off of LaMelo Ball,
LaMelo is a better player though. Yeah, LaMelo is better than Lonzo.
I definitely like this pick for the Hornets. With the 12th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Jalen Johnson out of Duke, who would be a remarkable addition for a team that might lose DeMar DeRozan in free agency and could use a secondary ball handler
I think the Spurs lose DeRozan.
Popovich's motion offense in addition to DeJounte Murray. He definitely needs to be developed a little bit, but if there's one thing that the San Antonio Spurs have shown,
yeah, if you talking about development, Spurs is the best place to go for them.
Developed raw players.
I ain't gonna lie,
like
Spurs got
Johnson. And if
great development.
Get his jump shot to consistently fall and make the most out of his athleticism, you're looking at a player that can even become an all-star.
Spurs got great development, bro. They got a lot of players that come to their team and hoop, and they go to another team and trash.
Select Josh Giddey, a 6'8" guard out of Adelaide. I feel like every time we see 6'8" point guards that are from European countries, we automatically assume it's the next coming of Luka Doncic. But in this case, you have a player that is phenomenal at playmaking, has tremendous basketball IQ, but
a lot of foreign players are hit or miss though.
A little bit more.
For how many Lukas there are, how many
draft, the Golden State Warriors select
who else came from overseas?
a wing out of Gonzaga.
For how many Lukas or how many trash overseas players that come in this draft, and they're supposed to be the next third or next Luka, like you
but
said.
is also a phenomenal perimeter scorer, a player that demonstrates great energy on both sides of the floor, that has a lightning quick jump shot release. Honestly, I don't think he'll fall all the way.
He look like Killer Roy. Look, let's go back. He do look like Killer Roy a little bit.
Warriors select Corey Kispert, a wing
that is
out of
Killer Roy.
Gonzaga. This is a home run.
He said you need
Golden State Warriors.
He said you need DeRozan back to Toronto.
Fits into your offense. That is a tremendous.
I don't think DeRozan goes back to Toronto. I think DeRozan wants to play with Kyle Lowry. So
player that demonstrates great energy on both sides of the floor. That has a lightning quick jump shot release. Honestly, I don't think he'll fall all the way to the Golden State Warriors in the NBA draft. But
I've heard of Corey Kispert too, because I think
absolutely terrifying. Let me know what you guys would do
Lakers
differently in the
looking
NBA
at him,
draft.
he getting drafted higher.
I made a mistake in the earlier parts or the later parts.
Yeah, man, that was cool. I don't some of the comparisons he was making though was crazy though. I ain't gonna cap. Some of them comparisons, bro. Like you compare Cade Cunningham to Ben Simmons, like his. I mean, I don't think he was saying the overall game, bro. That's crazy.